Today we're going to be trying a fix on a Saturn Vue 2007. It works with many automatic transaxles on the reverse slam. Now what the reverse slam is, you start the car, put it into reverse, there's either a delay of 1 or 2 seconds or it's just a slam like. Now make sure it's not the engine mount, and it definitely is something related to the transmission beforehand. Engine mount, if it's that, watch the engine, watch it move and see if that is contributing to the noise you hear. If it's not, then it's ideally a reverse slam, and that's what we're going to be looking at here. Now what causes a reverse slam? Usually it's the valve body, which is the nerve center of the transmission. On this car it's actually really easy to get to. You can take out the battery tray, and you can actually take off the valve body from the transmission from the top. So it's pretty cool about a Saturn Vue. And what it is, a valve body is a maze of passages that direct hydraulic fluid to numerous valves in the transmission. When these get gummed up, so with like goop and gum, it can cause a blockage and a kind of slam effect. So what we're doing with this method is trying to get rid of all this gunk. Now if you have metal in there, a metal filing or something like that, this will not work, but you can give it a try if you would like. So for this delayed engagement, reverse slam, reverse engagement, whatever you'd like to call it, you don't need many things to get started. The one thing you need to do is change your transmission fluid. For the Saturn Vue 2007, you just need to make sure it supports Honda ATF-Z1. Just make sure you get the right one for your transmission. For a Saturn Vue 2007, it drops about a gallon, so I've picked up a gallon. I also have this, which we need to add in as well. Don't add it in as well as this, because you need to replace it with a gallon. Don't overfill or underfill your transmission. For this, it's a Lucas stop slip. You can also use Transmedic, whichever one you would like to do. You need something to drain the fluid from the transmission. With this car, it's just one of these 3/8" sockets. Funnels for refilling, and obviously a drain pan and many racks, because it gets very messy. It's a messy job. So for changing the transmission fluid, I already have a video on that. See the description below and you can go and do that yourself. One thing I will mention is don't get synthetic when doing this. The reason is non-synthetic heats up a lot higher, goes a higher temperature, and that will help clear the gunk out of the transmission. You can switch to synthetic after, but the point is we want to get everything hot in there and melt the goop. So change the transmission fluid, then we'll pick up from there. And also, if your transmission has a transmission filter, feel free to change that. With this car, the Saturn Vue 2007, it has a filter, but it's not very accessible, so we're not going to do that. So I'm just topping up the transmission fluid after the change there. A gallon came out, we're about 700 milliliters left on here. So we're going to dump our bottle in now. That's 700 milliliters, so that will make up for the 700 left in here. So we'll just put that in. Now we're going to dump this in. And yeah, go with the next bit. Goopy. So a little tip when adding this channel here is so thin, and this is so viscous and thick, it's like tar. It takes forever to go in. So what I recommend is kind of mixing it with your transmission fluid and putting it all in together. That way it doesn't get clogged up in these little sort of artery pipes they've given us to refill this. So I definitely recommend doing that. Now I've added the transmission fluid and the additive, start the car. Let it warm up to operating temperature. Now the engine's somewhat warm. Just cycle through the gears, about 5 seconds in each. It gets the fluid kind of flowing. You normally do this after a transmission fluid change anyway. So now that's all done. The next thing you want to do is set the parking brake really firmly. Now chock the back wheels of the car, just for safety, or use a wall. Now once we're chocked, parking brake applied, put it in reverse, and just leave it running here. Leave it running for about 30 minutes. This will simulate sitting in traffic really, but you'll be in reverse, so it won't damage your transmission in any way at all. And as long as your fan kicks in, it won't overheat. So the idea is when it's in reverse, we're going to try and clean out the gunk in that reverse passage in the valve body of the transmission. That's the whole point of this. Because it's slamming in reverse, it suggests it's either blocked. Now we hope that's gummed up and not blocked with metal filings or loose parts or anything like that. So we're going to give it a go and come back after about 30 minutes. Okay, we're almost there. It's been almost 30 minutes sitting here in reverse. Okay, once it's been around 30 minutes, I've actually been doing it for 45 because I got a little busy. Put it in park and try in reverse and see if the slam's gone away. If it goes away but comes back in, say, a couple months or something, try it again. Chances are you flushed out a lot of the gunk, but there's a bit remaining or something like that. Never do this with dirty transmission fluid because you could actually make the problem worse. Always change it first. So I hope that helped you, and yeah, hope that reverse slam goes away. If it hasn't, you're looking at a new valve body, I believe. So that's the next step. But with this, I mean, transmission fluid $15 a gallon, and the additive is about 10. So it's a good first step before you open the wallet and get into more expensive endeavors. So I hope this helped you. Thanks for watching.